we are going to be finding the distance between 2 points on a coordinate plane. And there is a way that you can do it, and I have the steps broken down for you. So step 1 is you are going to cross off a similar number. Step 2, you're going to ask yourself, are the remaining numbers the same or opposite? It should say or, not of, I apologize. The same or opposite, like positive and negative, they're opposites. Positive and positive are the same, negative, negative, they're the same. And then finally, step 3, you're going to use the key below. Okay? So I have 3 sets of points here. You should have them copied down in your math journal. I have 3 sets of points. And earlier today, I went ahead and I graphed these points. Okay? So you can see my first one is -2. That should be a +2. Sorry. +2, +2. Yep. Positive. There we go. +2, +2, and then +2, -6. Those are my first 2 points. My second 2 points, -2, +4, and then -2 and -2. -2, +2. Wow, sometimes I can talk. And then finally, -4 and 2, and then -8 and 2. So there were 3 sets, and I graphed them according to number. So the first ones are in green, second's in orange, third is in pink. So you guys can see that I have them graphed, right? I have green, orange, and then pink. Okay? So what we're going to do today is we're going to find the distance between these points. Obviously, the first way that you could do it is by just counting how far away they are from each other, right? But I'm going to show you a different way. Okay, so step 1, you're going to cross off this similar number. English Foxies, if I can hear you, I don't want to hear you. You have something to work on. Okay, so I'm going to find my similar numbers. So as you see my 2 similar numbers in each ordered pair. Tell me, what are my 2 similar numbers?
2.
Yeah, 2. So I'm going to go ahead and cross them off. Okay, just like step 1 says, cross them off. You can work with me. We're going to cross them off, and then we're left with 2 numbers. We have +2 and -6. So what we're going to do with these 2 numbers, because they are opposites, we have one positive and one negative, we're going to put both of them in between the absolute value walls. Okay, so we're going to take +2 and put it in the first wall, and then -6 and put it in the second wall. So what we're going to do with these 2 numbers is we are actually going to add them. So we're going to take the absolute value of 2 plus the absolute value of -6. So I want you guys to notice that as I am writing this down, I am using 2 lines to do this. On your assignment today, I do expect you to be using 2 lines. The first one where you're writing it with the absolute value, the second one where you're solving underneath. So the absolute value of +2 is what?
2.
I'm going to keep my same sign, which is the addition sign, and then the absolute value of -6 is what?
6.
6. English Foxies, can I hear you? Yes or no?
Probably, if you're talking to us about it.
Probably. So, can I hear you over there? If you're talking, go move down. I've already talked to you about it. You may not talk about anything. Really? Peyton was the only one talking. Lorenzo, why were you leaning towards Peyton? Were you talking?
No, I was finding my math book, and I wasn't opening my mouth.
Okay. Friends, I don't want to hear you. All right, so then I'm going to take positive, so I have my absolute values. I brought them down, so now I'm ready to solve. 2 plus 6 equals what?
8.
8. Okay, 2 plus 6 equals 8. So I know that these 2 points are 8 units away from each other. So let's see if we're right. Ready? So here they are on the green ones. Let's count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Were we right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what you do when there is one positive and then one negative. Okay. So next I want to talk about when there's one positive or when they're both positives. And do not go ahead of me because they're different. Okay. So when they're both positives, we're going to start with the same step 1. We're going to cross off a similar number. Tell your partner what the similar number is here.
-2.
Okay, so we're going to cross off -2. And so I'm left with 2 numbers. I'm left with 4 and 2, and they're both positive numbers, okay? So I'm going to take them, and I'm going to put them in the absolute value walls. It's just good habit to be in. I know that you don't need them when they're both positive numbers, but it's just good habit to be in to always put them in the absolute value walls. So we're going to take the absolute value of 4 and the absolute value of 2, and we are going to find the difference between them. So we're going to subtract. So I have my first line ready to go where I have it written out with the absolute value. So then we're going to move down to my next line. The absolute value of 4 is what?
4.
Yep, we're going to keep the same sign, so we're going to do subtraction, and then the absolute value of 2 is what?
2.
2. 4 minus 2 equals what?
2.
2. So I know that it's 2 units away from each other. You think we're right?
Yeah.
I know. So here's my second point. It's orange. So it's 1, 2 units away from each other. You guys see that? Okay. All right. So then we have one more. And there's one more thing we need to put in here. I'm so sorry. I know that we took the absolute value of 4 first because it was in here first. Draw an arrow to the 4. 4 is actually the bigger digit. And the bigger digit needs to go first. And the reason why is because we're subtracting. Okay, and so when we're subtracting, we have to be able to have the bigger digit. So we're gonna put the bigger digit first. Okay. All right. Finally, our last set of points. We're gonna find the numbers that are common. Tell your neighbor what numbers are the same.
2.
Yeah, so 2 is the same, so we're going to cross them off. Okay, and then I'm going to look at them, and I know that you know. I know that negative 4 is actually bigger than negative 8, but when we look at just the digit itself, just the number, not negative, not positive, just the actual number, which one is bigger, 8 or 4?
8.
8, yeah, so we're looking at the digit, okay, and it's the same, the bigger digit goes first. Okay. So if the bigger digit is going to go first, we're going to set it up again with the absolute value walls. And just like with the subtraction, because they were the same sign, we're going to be subtracting, or with the addition, because they were the same sign, we're going to be subtracting again because we have 2 negative signs and they're the same. So I'm going to put the bigger digit in first, which is negative 8. And then I'm going to subtract negative 4 from that, the absolute value of negative 4. So now I'm ready to move on to my second line. The absolute value of negative 8 is what?
8.
8, yeah. And I'm going to just bring my subtraction sign down. And then the absolute value of negative 4 is what?
4.
4, good. So 8 minus 4 is what?
4.
4, so I know that it's 4 units away. The 2 points are 4 units away. So here are my 2 points. And we can count them, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 units away. Okay? When your math journal matches my math journal, go ahead and put it on the corner of your desk and get out your whiteboard, and that is great. Thanks, Madison.